All right, guys, and we are back. Looks like we're going to be jumping right into the picks and bans phase here. All right, so let's get that up on the screen.
Looks like so far we've been seeing a Darius ban, a Vladimir ban, and a Lulu ban on the red side, and a Syndra Hecarim Caitlyn ban for the red side.
This game, we're looking at about a gold to diamond average, and characters picked all the way in between of ranks. So the teams we are looking at today are HorizonLine Dawn versus the Legend 27.
Seems that we are getting a very fast pick and ban phase here. We see a Renekton top versus a Fiora already, as well as an Ivern versus a Warwick. Looks like the mid lane matchup is going to be Ahri versus Swain, and looks like we're just going down the list. Karma, Lucian bot lane, that should have some very heavy aggro they're able to pour on with all of that aggressive damage. But a Janna with Ezreal looking for that disengage and comeback as, they're looking to pull back and turn around the fights.
Warwick running the traditional ghost there to get that extra range on his ult.
That will be huge if they can end up getting a pick. Looks like that was a very, very fast ban and draft phase. And
now we got another 3 minutes to look over what we got going on here in terms of matchups. So it looks like, lucky for us, they did actually stage themselves, so they are right on line with each other. So we have Renekton, Fiora, Ivern, Warwick, Ahri, Swain, Lucian, Ezreal, Karma, Janna matchups. I gotta say, most of these matchups look very even in terms of things. I'd say probably the most, the biggest deficit is probably going to be the Ahri Swain one. Swain having that ability to just lock down and poke people for a long time and just burn people.
I think it actually is going to hinge far more around the top lane. With that Renekton-Fiora matchup, Fiora is very strong, but Renekton is a pretty hard counter because with that stun, he's able to proc it right before he autos attack, making it very hard for Fiora to land that riposte. So she basically has to predict when that stun is coming to a T, or else he can just hold it and win the trades. That will be huge for the blue team, and if I'm remembering correctly, that is Horizon Light Dawn, right?
Horizon Light Dawn is the red team.
Oh, I'm sorry. Got those backwards. So that will definitely be a tricky thing for Horizon Light Dawn to go up against in the top lane. But as you were pointing out, mid lane, the Swain does have a lot of sustain, but a lot of that does come at level 6. Till level 6, Ahri has some pretty good wave clear and damage with her Q. I think she'll probably be able to shove in the wave and make it hard for the Swain to get that edge that he would normally be able to otherwise if it was a slower paced lane opponent.
Also, you're new to the stream. Go ahead and introduce yourself.
Hello, everybody. My name is Dave CC-Farrell, and I am helping to cast this stream.
Yeah, and it's this time around we have definitely a much more matched up and a higher ranked game, so hopefully we'll see a lot more vision control be used and a lot more team coordination being seen.
Oh, I think we definitely will. An interesting thing to note is the jungle matchup is very interesting because Ivern is very much has his presence and strength in the counter gank. That is where Ivern shines. And Warwick, especially when he hits level 6, has immense gank pressure with that ult able to lock down someone, as well as even if he's low, the healing you get off that is absolutely immense. So it will be tricky seeing how the Ivern is able to see if he can exert some early pressure over Warwick's jungle, as well as try to negate the effect of Warwick's very, very powerful single target ult, especially in the mid game.
Yeah. Looking at the bans that they did chose, they definitely got away from that Syndra right away, hoping to try to mitigate any bursts like mid laners that are possible out there. Syndra being the most powerful with just a point-and-click ult that will tear somebody to half health every time.
That is true. With the damage power that is packed into that ult, it is so powerful for a pick comp, and the ability to land so much damage so early it looks like they were going for Swain right from the get-go. Like, that seems to be their premier strategy this game, especially with trying to ban out people that have the higher early game damage. Plus, Swain is an excellent counter to regular assassins, but he struggles against those burst mages mid.
As for summoner spells, looks like pretty even setups. Looks like, though, that 27 Legend is going for a Ignite on the Karma support, actually, going for a more aggressive position, which is probably going to be in their favor.
That is actually a really good thing to point out. One of the things that we can notice is that the Legend 27 team, they actually don't have anyone with exhaust, which means that DPS is going to be something that they're not able to shut down as much on Horizon Dawn. But again, as we look at the team comp, there is no one person on Horizon Zero Dawn. Ezreal, while he does have very solid output in DPS, he does not quite have that level of sustained DPS that Lucian has. Mm-hmm. So bringing that Ignite on Karma would honestly be even better because it would help shut down the healing that Swain has, that he will be bringing to these team fights as a premier battle mage. Looks like we are loaded in, though. We have the people going to their lanes, and we will be seeing very shortly whether we're looking at an invade or anything. Looks like they are just walking around right now. Warwick looking to see if he can get a little extra vision pushed into the river. Ivern checks the bush, no one's there. Overall, it looks to be a pretty traditional start. Looks like
Karma getting in a little bit of poke there on the Warwick, but blue team was able to get one of them early game wards in on the red buff, able to give them excellent vision control over red side, and seeing that Warwick will not be starting on that side.
That is going to be huge. It seems that overall, with it, the biggest thing this game has been the vision. So far, it looks like nobody's going to be going for an invade, especially with the reduced very early game First Blood. You don't get quite as much gold from it as you used to, which means teams are less likely to risk the aggro because there isn't as much of a reward. We do seem to be hitting the laning phase now, though. Swain putting a little aggro with his first level Q.
Actually, Warwick did decide to go for the red buff to start off with. So he did decide to move over and wait for that ward to expire, which is very smart on HorizonLine's part. Mari looks to be pushing the lane in on Swain as well. Karma taking a very aggressive stance too, keeping that Ezreal off of his farm.
That is going to be huge because that Karma, as soon as a few levels are gotten by the red team, Horizon is going to be able to pull back very quickly from the trades that are being made by the Legend team, and they are just going to be able to punish them in retaliation as soon as they burned all their engage potential. One thing to notice is that there aren't any super tanks in this game, which means that naturally people will be able to be burst down far faster. We are still going to be seeing obviously a lot of health on like the Renekton and the Warwick, but it seems that a lot of these teams are...
Uh-oh, Fiora getting pretty engaged on here, having to burn flash there. Renekton taking a tower shot for that, but definitely winning the trade throughout right there. Fiora going into proc passive though. Yeah, this lane is going to be very hard for the Fiora, I think. Renekton having that better sustain until Fiora is able to build more. Uh-oh. Warwick coming in.
Looking to even up the lane, but he pulls back and nothing is got.
Just kind of saying, hey, I'm up here. Back off a little bit.
Adding a little pressure, giving that Fiora just a little bit of breathing room. Always going to be crucial. Even if the gank doesn't land or burn any summoners, just that little bit of extra pressure can mean all the difference in the world. Ivern is actually top now, seeing if he can do something, but there is aggro being traded bot lane. Blue ends up on the better side of that trade.
Yeah, that Renekton, he has just the ability to stay in lane due to his Q and his lifesteal from that. Pushing Fiora out, having her... Does she have teleport? Yes, she does. Definitely going to have to probably use that with how far the weight is pushed on their tower.
That is true. It looks like she did end up burning teleport. A trade by the Swain onto the Ari, able to get actually quite a bit of damage, and he won that trade. That should put him at an advantage, especially as we're starting to get around to level 5, meaning level 6 is going to be not far away, which is when Swain gets that huge advantage in his ult.
Let's see. Itemizations are looking pretty standard for everything so far. Lucian actually opting to go for instead of a Doran's Blade, a long sword right there.
Oh.
Uh-oh. Looks like we got the game paused here.
I think
we have
Lucian,
a disconnect.
Yeah, Lucian I think actually
and
disconnected.
another disconnected.
That is
Interesting.
That is surprising.
So
overall, why don't we talk about how this matchup set is actually going right now? It seems that although Fiora is able to keep up in CS, she has had to burn both of her summoners. That is huge lane advantage for this Renekton that has not honestly taken much damage at all. In fact, Fiora was forced to go double Dorans.
Yeah, double Doran start is definitely a weak start. You want to start building into